going on, YouTube? This is Damius Alexander coming to you. Thank you again for watching my wholesaling YouTube channel. Do me a favor, if you have not, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Stay moving forward with me as I continue to show you guys my path to building a wholesaling business. I wanted to share something with you guys. One thing that I do want to try to do with this channel, as ethical as I can, is you get a lot of channels where they're showing you this success and they're showing you, the different strategies of how to become successful. And you're seeing I started from here and now I make, 50, 100K a month. And you can do it too. You get a lot of those messages, but what I wish, that I would be, privy to seeing, or what I think would be very valuable is for sometimes even the gurus, for them to actually show some of the downsides of that roller coaster. The angry sellers, the deals that they get under contract, they market and maybe they don't sell, or something falls through at the title company. There's so many things that happens with this business, and you a lot of times you often just get the start of the story with, I didn't have much or I didn't have anything, but I was persistent, and then my persistence led to me finding a deal, building momentum, gaining traction, and moving forward. And they lead you to believe that the rest of it there is just persistently moving forward and powering through. I think all that is great, but sometimes to show that even with the success, there is two sides to the business and two sides to the story. So to give you guys a quick a quick rundown of what happened with me today. So I marketed for a property. I got the property under contract. The numbers, we're having title issues for starters. A lot of times the sellers are not the most forthcoming individuals. So when you get that contract, you negotiate. I mean, the seller was okay with walking away and just leaving this burden behind them. So that's the roller coaster ride going up, right? Well, that was great. I was excited, got the property under contract, opened escrow, began title work. Well, then we found out there was a second lien on the property. Asked the seller, did you have a lien? Well, yeah, I filed bankruptcy and they no longer continue to follow me. Or I did no longer receive statements or anything stating that I still needed to pay. So, okay, so the lien is still on the property. So that's something we may be able to negotiate. I'll do another video to try to talk about, when you do have a property and if there's a mortgage, and if there's a second, if there's a lien on the property, someone that may have second position or third position on the property, kind of how those things work. But with this particular situation, the guy informed us once we found out that he had a lien on the property, but they were garnishing his wages, so he didn't know it was attached to the property, which is a strong possibility. A lot of times the sellers, they don't know some of their debt can be tied to the property. So that's one hurdle that, we have to overcome. Again, numbers were already tight to begin with. To kind of give more validity, when you hear numbers were tight, the property may be worth about 170 ARV, and we got it under contract for 94, and we were going to try to market it at 104. It's a smaller home, 864 square feet, so we figured it wouldn't take much to repair the property. Therefore, you may not have to put much on repairs to actually reach that potential ARV. So that's kind of when we say numbers perspective. So it sounds like it's a good spread, but a lot of the fix and flippers, they like to still have that bigger margin. And I think it's all market based. So these may be home runs in your market. Here, sometimes it's kind of a, deal or no deal. You never know. But to get back to the situation, we discussed the second lien. Title was in negotiations with, trying to get that second lien reduced or removed. So great. Roller coaster goes back up. Well, after further digging, we find out that the owner also has a home equity line of credit for an additional 40K. There's your roller coaster dropping, right? So I call the seller. Hey, Mr. Seller, Mrs. Seller, do you know you have a HELOC? Oh, yeah. Great. That'll be nice to know. So do you owe the entire balance, or, Seller owes the entire balance. So right away, that's almost like no deal. Now, here's the issue that I ran into. When I got the property and I opened escrow, I immediately started marketing the property maybe 2 days later. And I called for an inspection period with all my buyers. And I told them we only have a 30 to 45-minute inspection period. Um, I actually picked this up from someone else, another idea from my mentor, and I know a couple other gurus do the same thing. So it's not my original thought, but I marketed this thing like crazy. Bandit signs, text emails, text blast, email blast, Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, Facebook Garage Sale. I mean, I put this property any and everywhere I could. And the good thing is I actually picked up about 25 extra buyers just from the marketing. So, one thing about this business is you do have to celebrate the small wins to keep you moving forward. But that's another conversation. So I market this property to have an inspection period for 2 to 2:30. And I called everyone on my buyer list just to confirm that they got the notification. So I really put the work in to make certain that everyone saw this property. Well, we're about an hour away from the showing. I get a call from the seller. It's a woman. She's pissed. Did you post the property with the pictures of the inside and the condition of my home on Zillow? Right? So I said, I listened to her and I kind of let her go. So of course I'm a bit, caught off guard. You want to hear everything the seller has to say to kind of find your way of just kind of explaining it and smoothing it over. So after the seller continued to talk, I mentioned to her that, which we do, we have some out-of-country buyers. I told her that, sometimes the pictures are too big to send via email. And that's just kind of one of the ways we do where they're able to go and actually see the property, see the inside. And since they have their own contractors, their own companies and everything, they may want to come and perform due diligence. That is the way that we're allowed for them to be able to see it, because they can simply go online and pull it up if we're not able to send, the details via email due to the size of the files that we're trying to send. Right? But the seller's letting me have it. I have this going on, I have that going on. I'm going through a custody, and this person wants to take the kids, and I mean, I'm just getting a whole open. She's just laying it out there. So instead of kind of curling up and kind of being so apologetic, I did, start with being, empathetic and starting to, have some type of remorse. And I apologized to her. I said, I apologize because I do believe we have a misunderstanding, but more so I understand your concern and I can assure you. And then she cut me off. And it says that it's a public open house inspection period for the public. So now that roller coaster is just really just... So this is a down moment, it's like, but I concluded with her and said, listen, I understand your concern, I understand it. I said, that's for some of our buyers. But the thing is, no one knows the inside of your home. To my understanding, with your issue going on, with the court, I can't speak on it. I don't want to speak too much on it. But, you can have clothes laying around as you're sorting for donations. You could be donating clothes. You can be, you're in the process of moving out, things like that. But instead of, trying to explain so much, this is kind of why I did what I did. But because I understand your situation, what I'll do is this. Even if our contact that's out of the country, if they didn't get the message by then, I'll just have it removed. We'll take it down. But I do want you to be mindful. No one knows your story. No one knows your situation. No one. And I asked her, I said, do these individuals that you speak of, do they even know the inside of your home? She stated no. I said, okay, so I understand, but a lot of it is really coming from, you knowing your situation. And that's the concern that you're having. So I said, I'll have my staff remove it. I'll be at the property in 15 minutes, and I'll talk to you when I get there because I am on the road, but we'll take care of it. And we got off the phone. She was very emotional. So that's a down moment, guys. So right away going in, I have a property set up for showing. I just found out I have a potentially $30,000 to $40,000 addition to the purchase price. We're already looking at a 160, 170 ARV. The seller owes 90. So now that's an additional 120 to 130 we can be looking at to pay off for this property. There's like no spread there. But I got quite a few buyers confirming that they're going to come to this inspection period. Now I have a seller who I have to go in here with and try to smooth things over with, and try to get them to understand that no one's going to ask you questions, which that's actually going to work to my benefit, because when you do show a property, you don't want the communication between the buyer and seller to be something that they're going back and forth in communication, because obviously you have the property at a contract and you're trying to sell your assignment. So I'm contemplating if I want to go in here with cameras rolling so you guys can actually hear how I have to try to get over this, I don't want to call it an objection, we're used to that word, how I have to get over this obstacle. Because I know a lot of companies may go through this or something similar, but they never really share, the things that, they do go through. You see their success. So it's not like when they share, we had a deal that fell through, or we had a property and the seller, we marketed and the seller caught whiff, and like they never kind of give you the obstacles and the things that they have to overcome. And I do believe that it's key to do that on your rise, because I think it adds more context that you really can do this business. And just because you may have a deal or your first 2 deals or your first 3 deals and they just don't work out, whether it's title issues, you can't sell them, you contract them too high, I would take argument that no matter how successful any wholesaler is, they all run into some form of issue just in the business, especially when it comes to selling the property. So I didn't want to make this video too long. I have to go in here and speak with the seller. I'll see if I can get the cameras going. Again, I try to respect their privacy, but I also want to show you guys just kind of some of the of the business. So thank you again for watching. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, hit the like so you're aware when we do videos like this. Again, I'm taking you guys on my ride to my success of building a wholesaling business, and I want to show you guys the good and the obstacles and the things that you have to overcome. So thank you. God bless.